continue 30 weeks, 30 WrestleManias, every Wednesday here on the site, here on the cast. Your co-chairman, Jack Encarnacio and JP Sorrow, taking a look at WWF WrestleMania 3.
You know, I agree, Jack. Things do come better in threes, and because when they come in threes, they come bigger, better, and badder.
So, I don't know.
I mean,
it doesn't wear on me as much as it does on you all these years later. I mean, it's certainly a missed opportunity, but at the same time, I developed a distinct impression that kid went from being fine letting us in to being somehow convinced that we were just going to get, convinced to string us along and see if we went away.
And I'm okay, and I get it, but you know what? I would have waited 1 hour.
Yep.
I would have waited 1 hour to see if this would, because again, when are you and I going to go to Detroit again?
Well,
when are you and I ever going to go to Pontiac, Michigan?
Probably never.
Right.
All right. Finally, been spotted. We're here.
It is March 28th, 2017, a day before the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania 3. And where are we right now?
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we are currently in Detroit at the airport.
Well, it's the Laps fan, man, number one in the ring. Forget about Cesaro, we the real king of swing. When the bell goes ding, you get kicked like Ming. Thrown in the corner, make it splash like Sting. Even Jerry King will take off the crown, nodding his head like he's D-Lo Brown. We can get low down, but we go even higher. Flip you on your head, make you no cool driver. We be spitting more knowledge, the dragon spits fire. Leave you more shocked than when Edge retires. Dropping more truth than Recon and Sniper. Bless you with a coconut, Roddy Piper. Jack and JP be like JYD. Dropping cupcakes and quoting the brain Bobby. The best podcast from start to close. Now if y'all benefit, here's a 5-second pose.
Good evening, Laps Fan Solar System. This is JP. It is the evening of Monday, March 27th, 2017. We are less than a week to WrestleMania 33, and which marks the 30th anniversary of the Mains 3. Now, I'm talking to you right now a day before Jack and I are to fly. We're taking a lapsed pilgrimage, and I'm going to give you pretty much as I can, a blow by blow leading up to when I get off the plane at my destination, at our destination. Jack is flying by himself. I am flying by myself. We will meet at our location. I'm not sure if I want to disclose that just yet, so I'm not going to. I'm not sure how this is all going to turn out, but this is the calm before what I expect to be a raging storm over the next couple of days. I'm currently sitting in my home office, alone, mentally preparing for the task and the mission and the adventure that Jack and I are going to undertake, which you will be hearing WrestleMania Sunday. That's exciting. Okay, solar system. My wife and daughter have just dropped me off at Newark International Airport. So this is getting a little real. I'm very excited for you to when the time comes to disclose where we are, where we're going. I would be lying if I said I didn't call Jack last night nervous with some apprehension and some cold feet. I'm sure he and I are going to discuss that much later on this very special Laps Fan podcast. But I'm going to keep you on a moment-to-moment update here. Like I said, currently at Newark International Airport, getting ready to go through security and going to board my plane. This is going to be a very exciting trip, a very interesting trip, maybe a little bit of a risky trip. I'm not sure yet, but there is potential of that. Either way, it's going to be pretty interesting, and both Jack and I are very excited to be doing this. And here I am now through security at my gate, sitting waiting to have some breakfast. The ramifications to what we are about to do are huge. We're doing this as a first for the Laps fan. This is a first, kind of a first for me to do something like this, just to take a trip to do something like this. To really, I don't think I've ever personally taken a trip where it's really about taking care of some unfinished business. And I'm curious how much business we're going to be able to finish up. But we will see. I'm sitting here. I sit down. I'm going to have some food here at, I don't know what the fuck I'm at. Whatever place this is. I got some decent in-flight entertainment on my iPad. I'll be watching Captain America Civil War and, if necessary, Doctor Strange, as well as a couple other movies downloaded. So, yeah, this should be a pleasant flight. Stopping in Chicago. Going to work that base for a little bit. Get a hot dog. Maybe get a beef sandwich. Talk to CM Punk. See what he thinks. See if he's going to watch WrestleMania. So, anyway, I'll be in touch. Laps fan solar system currently boarded for the first leg of this journey, and yeah, this journey has now begun. There's no turning back. It's game time. It's time to feel a really special dose of pain that I've never felt before, that I'll never feel again. This one's gonna hurt. There's no time to waste on this trip. We have things to do. Shit needs to get done. And there's no time for nature, for God, for any sort of element to interfere in the business that we need to finish and get done. Solar system, I'm in Chicago. Had myself a Chicago-style dog. And a beef sandwich. Working that style. And here we are boarded. Next flight. Home stretch. To the next location. The final stop. The ultimate stop. I think it's safe to say that the next stop on my journey, and Jack's journey, will be bigger, better, and badder than anything we have done before. Laps fan solar system. I have touchdown, and currently touchdown in Detroit. In saying that, I think you know what's going on. I'm currently in the shuttle, and I will be going over to the other terminal to pick up my co-host Jack, and from there, as we like to say, business will pick up. You know, if you haven't guessed by now, you should have guessed by now, with tomorrow, Wednesday, March 29th being the 30th anniversary of WrestleMania 3, your co-chairmen have taken it upon themselves to make that lapsed pilgrimage, to do the right thing, to do what's right for business, and settle some unfucking finished business and trekked to the goddamn Pontiac Silverdome. That's what we're doing tomorrow. That's why we're here. That's why you're listening. The beauty of this is that every other wrestling fan this week, who can do it is heading to Orlando, Florida. The majority of wrestling fans heading to like I said, Orlando, Florida. But these two ass clowns, me and Jack, what do? Your co-chairman? These two buffoons, we fucking go to Detroit to celebrate the past or to investigate the past. I'm not sure if there's going to be much of a celebration this year. If it takes all day tomorrow, I'm stepping foot in this fucking arena.
You're gonna regret that promise, boss. That's a weighty promise.
I know it is.
You need to fucking explain something, okay? Why do you need to step foot in the arena? What is it about? What does it say about you that you need to step into the arena? What is the itch you have to scratch?
There's this because we were there. Because we were there 10 years ago. We were there. Because this is where it comes down to. The bottom line for me is that back then there was a chance, there was an opportunity, there was that moment where we could have gone into the arena that was, yes, it was a graveyard. Yes, it was not being used or hardly being used. But virtually it was still the arena that we saw on television in 1987 or on video cassette or on DVD.
I think it's the building screaming at us, guys, what you seek is not here.
What you seek never will be again. When we were here 10 years ago, Trump was in the featured match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he was in the featured match at WrestleMania, and it was his ability to convince people in hard-up, middle-class, blue-collar states like Michigan that he would restore things to the way they used to be, that somehow he would provide the bridge to a day when your dad has a pension again. That accounts for and speaks to the heartstrings that may have been behind a lot of Trump votes in states that people didn't necessarily expect to go for him. And here we are chasing, much like perhaps those electors,
Yep.
A nostalgia, a feeling of the past. And I worry that we're going to end up being confronted with a horrifying reminder that there's a reason it's the past. And that it never, perhaps, the ability to go back never was real.
That's the truth right there. That's it. We can't go back. Your dad's never going to get that pension again. We're not going to be satisfied making this trip to the Silverdome tomorrow. All the future... This is the thing. The only guarantee that the future can give us, and the future is willing to give us, is pain. It's Wednesday morning, March 29th, 2017. This is the day. Today is the 30th anniversary for WrestleMania 3. Took place up the road from where we are. We're in Auburn Hills, Michigan, and up the street is Pontiac, Michigan, home of the Silverdome. It's beckoning. It's calling our name. How do you feel?
I'll tell you, you ever have that, when you wake up on a morning, when there's something that's about to happen, something big, akin to Christmas morning when you're a kid, and you're in that stage where you sort of come out of sleep, but not entirely. Your eyes, of course, are still closed. But you've woken up enough to be conscious, but not enough for your mind and the gears of your mind to begin considering what today is and what day it is, where you are. And slowly those things start to come into relief for you, and your brain starts to appreciate where you are and what you're doing. And when you realize it's the day that you're going to try to go to the Pontiac Silverdome and get justice, something enters the pit of your gut that then doesn't leave for the rest of the day. Even when you're laying there half asleep, your stomach will never be the same.
Yeah, because this is the kind of morning where you wake up and you realize it's Christmas Day, but you're not sure if Christmas is actually going to happen.
Right. This is the day. This is like waking up and thinking there's a very good chance there's nothing under the tree.
That's right. This is the day. This is the Christmas morning where you realize Santa Claus may not have come last night. Santa Claus may be dead. Outside the hotel room in the parking lot, maybe about 24 cars and a man smoking cigarettes. This is Michigan.
So it is the morning of March 29th, 30 years since WrestleMania 3. And we talk about lapsed serendipity a lot, boss. We failed to realize here in Detroit, as we turned in for the night and kind of strategized one last goodbye to the Silverdome, that precisely as we were sitting down to dinner on that exact day at that exact hour, the city of Pontiac and the owner of what's left of the Silverdome, a Toronto developer, announced in a press release a formal schedule of demolition for the Pontiac Silverdome, the precise day we touched down in Michigan. No planning at all. And it turns out that when we make our way over there, it's quite likely that the Silverdome is going to be lined with people saying goodbye. Last night's newscasts in Detroit were full of overtures as if you want to say goodbye to this building, you better do it quickly because
Wow, get the fuck out of here.
by the end of the summer it'll be gone.
Holy shit.
Last night, the Pontiac Silverdome, former home of the Detroit Lions and Detroit Pistons, is set to be demolished by the end of the summer after the stadium owner and the mayor of Pontiac agreed Tuesday on a timeline.
Wow, that is lapse serendipity.
While we're walking around, here's Andreas Apostolopoulos of the investment group that bought the building. We have, not to be confused with the guy who owns the roast beef shop on Route 1. We have reached a point where we must say goodbye to what was once one of the world's greatest venues. The Silverdome was not only the proud home of the Lions and the Pistons, but also served as host facility for the Pope, the Super Bowl, the World Cup. You ready for this?
Yes.
The original WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
And countless other events. As we say goodbye to an iconic place that was the setting for so many great memories, we put in place...
Oh, he makes a good point, actually, because at WrestleMania 20, it all did begin again. So this is the first 20 years were the original WrestleMania. So that I get it. He makes a good point.
Wow. As we say goodbye to an iconic place that was the setting for so many great memories, we put in place new development opportunities for one of the most unique properties in our nation.
Is it really a unique property? Like it's like a landfill or whatever, isn't it?
J. Patrick Lennon, attorney for the owner, who has been at war with Pontiac officials for some time about actually doing something concrete about tearing this place down. We all recognized that this is a unique property that is going through a difficult transition phase. We also recognize that the Silverdome is an important property to the city and state and presents special circumstances. There were difficulties and challenges, but in the interest of the greater good, we all chose to reach across the table, work together rather than pound on it. The judgment is the result of these efforts and not only establishes the rules for the transition phase, but also positions the property for the future. As sad as it might be to say goodbye, said Mayor Waterman, to a place that housed so many lifelong memories,
We also all know that the time has come. Like TIG, the city is committed to working with developers and achieving the best economic value for this property as Pontiac continues its economic revitalization.
I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy that, because we got a tweet this morning from Peter Winson saying that the Silverdome was being torn down, but I didn't know. We didn't have a date. We didn't have anything like that. It wasn't listed on there, except that the tweet was posted yesterday around the time we had dinner. Right. It could have been. I mean, they've been making that promise for like 3-4 years now. So, as a wrestling fan, I think it's incredible symbolism that they would choose 2017, 30-year anniversary of WrestleMania. They don't even know it. They don't. Not only do they.
We're the only motherfuckers who know this in the whole state, and we're not even from here.
I know, the two fucking assholes who came from the East Coast to come to a rundown, broken down, motherfucking empty arena.
Because all the wrestling fans are in Orlando right
That's right. All put it this way, all fake wrestling fans are in Orlando. Real wrestling fans are here in Detroit.
So I'd like to take you to a news clip from WDIV Channel 4, last night's newscast, just a 2-minute clip here of the announcement. As we touch down in Michigan, this is what's at the top of the newscast.
Well, City Pontiac can finally circle some dates on the calendar for the demolition of the Silverdome.
The iconic stadium, which opened in 1975 and closed in 2006, has been just an eyesore since the roof came off.
Jason Colthorpe live there tonight with more on when this is going to happen. Jason.
Well, let's just say...
You know what, woman? You're a fucking eyesore.
Come on, Raph, get in there. She didn't deserve that.
Devin, if you want to come say goodbye to this place before they tear it down, you better do it before the end of the summer. I mean, the Silverdome now just a former shell of itself. The property, not much more than just a parking lot for new cars now. This all came down in a consent judgment in district court today between the city and the new owners, which puts hard dates on when the Silverdome will finally be demolished. When word came down, the sun is finally going to set on the Silverdome, well, it was like the Pope had just blessed 90,000 people, which happened here in 1987.
No, it didn't.
I'm excited that we have finally reached this accord. I'm excited because it's an agreement.
An agreement to have a company hired by May 12th and a demo plan in place by June 9th.
We need to go on to the next step, and that's to prepare the property so that it can be utilized and not be the eyesore and the embarrassment for the city like it is right now.
Pontiac Mayor Deidre Waterman has been involved in the discussions about what could be built here, and she's counting on something great, like Barry rushing for 2,000 yards in a season. Great.
And with the master plan, we made this whole area an entrepreneurial zone, which means there's a lot of latitude in the way it can be developed.
It's just sad to see the state it's in right now.
Upscale restaurant Lely's opened down the street from the Silverdome in '96. Definite highs and lows in those 21 years, but it's counting on another upswing.
I feel like this area is like a forgotten area in Auburn Hills, so it's going to definitely help us out a lot.
No word on if this will be an implosion, but however they bring down the dome, it'll be about as tough as body slamming Andre the Giant. Yeah, that was here too.
We loved it, but it's a relic of the past. It's time to move forward.
It sure is, and again, the mayor not sure. Can't really put her finger on what will go here. It really could be a number of things. The city also was saying it was really time. It was becoming a safety issue, this place, as the city says, a destination for vandals and mischief.
We are now in the car on our way to the Silverdome.
You should know for purposes of time management that our GPS informs us we are 5 minutes away. 5 minutes.
It is literally down the road. So in 1 mile, we will be causing vandalism and mischief.
Wheels are moving.
We're now driving.
Not cause vandalism, but mischief.
No, just mischief.
How easy do you want to make the case against us?
The case is already against us. We're Laps fans.
Come on, boss! What the fuck?
We just turned out of the driveway, the entry, the parking lot of the hotel. We are at the stop sign next to the McDonald's.
Why do we do this?
Pain is why we do this. We do this because it hurts. We do this because
because nostalgia hurts. We do this because our past hurts. We do this because we never get the satisfaction that we need, that we want. That is why we do this. We do this to promote and to continue the suffering. I'm not here for fun. I'm here because there is a need inside of me that needs to be fulfilled. And the bottom line is this: given the nature of the damn building that we're going to, my need will not be fulfilled.
Yet here we are. We could have easily ascertained that before we left. Yet here we are. Yet here we are chasing the impossible.
I should be at home being a good parent and a good husband, but instead I'm here chasing a foolish, childish fantasy.
You know, boss, we booked the flight, we booked the hotel, we booked the rent-a-car. One thing we can't do today, we can't book the finish.
No, we cannot. Just like Hogan and Andre, we don't know the finish.
We don't know if the big guy's going to cooperate, and in this case, the big guy is the Silverdome.
Dude, I don't know what's going to happen, brother. So we're now driving. What street is this?
I don't know. North or something or other.
Oh, okay. So we're on North something or other road. We're passing a Burger King in an empty lot, which is pretty much
North Opdyke.
We're North Opdyke. That's why we know this road. Oh, here it is, Featherstone Road.
Oh my God.
That's not it.
That's it.
That's not it. That's not it. Oh my God, here's the word.
That's it!
No, it's not.
Here we go. We're about to turn the corner.
We're turning the corner on the road. There it is. Oh my God, there it is. It came out of nowhere. Oh God.
Lost my breath. Doesn't look torn down from out here.
No, it's not. It's not torn down yet. We have view of the east wing.
We're gonna do the perimeter.
Yeah, we're gonna drive around. There's an entryway right here. Gate 3 is open, or is it? No, it is not open.
We can see all the numbered parking garage sections.
There is fencing lining the building with barbed wire. Not sure if that was there before to protect the building, or if that is something new.
I see the north entrance now.
Yep.
Plenty of houses right across.
There are those cars that we talked about. The parking lot is lined with cars. There is a barrier in front of one of the main driveways, but it's not easy. It's not hard to hop over.
Jersey barrier.
Yep. But there are cars. All these Volkswagens and stuff that apparently were recalled are brought here to the absolute disdain of the locals of Pontiac. But there it is. One of the greatest arenas of all time, sitting here.
I can almost hear the echoes of the
Yes.
scream of Andre's slam and the people, their shouts going towards the heavens.
A sign for the box office entrance. What box office? What entrance? There's nothing here.
There's I believe that red SUV we just saw has been referenced in other pieces I've read as far as what's left of security. At the gate entrance, there's one guy, his car backed up to the fence, who will admonish you if you try to access, I imagine. We're going to do a quick turn here and see if we can't get another look at the other side of the building. Boss, your thoughts upon seeing the Silverdome again? 10 years after we first laid eyes on it, 30 years after WrestleMania 3.
I didn't realize that we kind of just were this close to it the whole time, and it really sprung up out of nowhere. It's, I remember the drive up there being a little bit longer and something last time, but it still gives that sense of a real graveyard, of an empty abandoned. I mean, it is. It's an empty. There's that house. I think you talked about at the WrestleMania 3 show. Office suites for rent, so there's nobody there now. Let's see if there's anybody in the. I don't see anybody in the security box there. There's like a vulture or something who's literally circling the top of the Pontiac Silverdome. Some kind of a bird.
There's a lot to eat in there.
I'm sure there is. Leftover hot dogs from 1987 just sitting there collecting mold and dust.
See the brush growing through the cracks in the cement of the parking lot.
The vacant, just vast parking lot. It's you know, it's funny. I don't remember it being this close to a major area. I don't know if maybe this developed over the last 10 years, but I remember it being a little more remote when we came here in 2007.
There's a large building very much under construction, which totally I thought was the Silverdome at first because it was the right road, but it's not.
He's sitting. That's it. I'm like, no, it's not it. It's not that torn down. They just announced they're going to tear it down yesterday, not now. But yeah, we're driving along the east side of the building now.
I invite you to recall this road being completely jammed with WrestleMania 3 traffic. Think about it.
Like, again, you think about the lot just filled with people, tailgaters.
Now there is no one on the road.
No.
There's an office park across the street, a credit union. I mean, the most shoulder shrugging. There's a soccer field adjacent. Looks like a youth soccer field.
That's horrifying. Can you imagine? I mean, back in the day, can you imagine even 10 years ago? At least you're playing there.
This is the wrong way.
No, is it? I don't know if it's two-way or wrong. Anyway, I think I don't think that leads to the highway. I think anyway. So.
Well, we've scoped out the joint. Next time you hear from us, we'll be on foot. All right, so we're walking through the parking lot of unused Volkswagens towards the fence of the north entrance of the Silverdome.
It is uncharacteristically really beating down on us.
I was expecting just a miserable day, gray and cloudy and gloomy, but here we are. There's the dome.
We need a big celebration of this building.
Now there's a second layer of fencing that could prove to be difficult.
I can tell there's some breakdown in it. Looks like some fencing has fallen down, but I think we want to maybe hit over that.
Yep. I see the door in front of us.
The hardest place in society. More tickets under here. Really feeling it. I see the seats. I can see the fucking seats.
I see the blue.
Oh my god.
We're approaching the lower level entrance at a brisk pace. Beautiful day here in Pontiac. And 30 years after WrestleMania 3, my heart is in my throat. My heart is absolutely in my throat as we approach the hollowed ground and the destroyed childhood represented by the Pontiac Silverdome. No smoking in facility, the sign advises. There's glass doors that appear to be papered over. One of them says, "Fuck everyone" on it, I think, which is nice, and spray paint. These doors probably won't turn. There's a wooden board inside. The doors are very much locked. We've got abandoned, HVAC equipment on the ground, busted and destroyed relics, an old Bud Light sign torn in half, beer cans crushed. It's pretty well boarded up, I have to say, but we saw the seats. Can we see the seats again?
Right there. Take a seat home.
Well, I think that'll get us arrested for sure, but there are blue pieces of the old Silverdome seats littering the floor. These are among the seats
right there through the window.
asses sat in. Yes, you can see there's a small sliver of glass remaining where there's a lot of boarded up doors. There's a rustling of some kind of wildlife, a bird, several birds inside one of the HVAC pipes. There are broken down signs that say wheelchair access, among other things. I am now looking through a piece of glass at the incredible expanse of the floor. It is stunning to see, even in its complete state of disrepair. There are broken pieces of these old seats everywhere, and just the non-stop rustling of wings above me. Very disconcerting. Broken glass on the floor. There's seat 7. And what's left of the top of it. Savage Steamboat, Piper's Retirement, Adonis. Such a sense of foreboding above our heads, I can't tell you. Just shattered pane of glass on the ground. Well, this tells us one thing. I mean, even if we were able to get this close last time, we wouldn't be able to get in. All these entrances having been secured. This is the handicapped entrance. Just dozens of bottle caps in many colors collected on the ground. I can see the field. I can see the green, which has been significantly torn up. Boss, your thoughts, your feelings?
I mean, it's part of me is like horrified to be here. The idea that how safe is this structure? Mm-hmm. How safe is this building? Is this building going to come crashing down at any second? I assume not. I assume that it's but the weather has beaten down this stadium over the last couple of years since the roof was torn off. You can see parts of the roof all over the place. What was the ceiling? You can see again where there are these lines down parts of the certain stairs where when the metal cables broke during the roof being taken down,
crushing
some of the seats.
But can you still glimpse that grandeur?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can feel the people, like what was the excitement, the anticipation, the grandeur of the moment, of the show, of the building. But again, I have that haunting feeling again, like I did 10 years ago, of just like, as if, I couldn't describe it when we talked about it on the show, but what it feels like almost is almost like the Titanic. As if the people who were there, as if there was a tragedy that day and people died that day and they're all there.
Something did die.
Yes.
What died?
It died.
What died?
Childhood. Innocence.
I think part of what might be unsettling us is the realization that leave the memories alone may have been prescient. Because look at the state of this place.
I know.
This doesn't engender nostalgia.
No, it actually, it's worse than, obviously it's worse than when we were here 10 years ago.
But it shouldn't be this much worse just 10 years on.
No.
This is a different feeling. And it's set to come down within months. And we're here, and we're trying to remember Hogan Andre.
Yep.
We're trying to picture this place overrun with humanity.
And you can see the water down there.
Pooling.
Yep. It's
I don't know, boss.
Sight.
Can you go home again?
You really can't.
I think we're kind of learning that when you peel back the onion of nostalgia, you realize the core may have been rotting the whole time.
Ooh.
We're now coming up on what appears to be more of a main entrance, kind of a whitish door, revolving door, which I'm sure is locked down as well. Handicap access. Maybe this was some kind of specialized access to the building. I saw a photo of Andre the Giant getting a tour of the building the night before WrestleMania 3, the afternoon. He was probably around here somewhere, learning about the scope of what at the time was the largest indoor stadium in North America. Now, perhaps the saddest symbol of industrial decay in North America.
This is here. Think about this. WWE trucks lined this place.
At the loading dock, shipping and receiving.
They loaded in their trucks here. Whenever they came, the day before, 2 days before, a week before. That might be a point of entrance.
I wonder how you could get down there. Very well fenced, the property.
That's true.
Banquet facilities. This used to be the banquet entrance, apparently. As boarded up as any other entrance. Well, that would be quite a plunge. More boarded up windows, old lighting trusses, back when people gave a shit. Back when this was a symbol of how much people could care about something instead of a symbol of how much people don't care about something.
If you were a guy who was trying to break in here, who took those photos and stuff like that, to me, the option is, there are two options really. There's maybe get up there with some ladders and climb up.
Yeah, God help us.
But the other thing is, maybe you find an entrance on the other side that isn't
secured.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like order number one was to board up every door, so that even if you do find an opening, you're not going to find a door you can walk through. Shattered glass everywhere. Just shit, just left all over the place. Walk through Something is an opening at the west entrance now of the magnificent Silverdome, a symbol of. It's like people want to go back to Reagan. This is what's left of said era. Bit of an opening here. Some more doors we could kind of take a look at, but clearly they're as boarded up as any other. Oh, is that the ticket? Those other old turnstiles, aren't they? Look at that.
I think so.
These small iron shoehorse-shaped things. See an old satellite broadcasting when people used to care?
Full circle.
Mayor says this is going to be an entrepreneurial zone, boss. What do you think?
I think it's a dead zone.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure they wouldn't argue that.
Oh, sounds like speakers up there.
Wow.
Megaphone speakers.
These to project announcements.
Yep.
Will the person, license plate 287, please move your car?
Ladies and gentlemen, Hulk Hogan has just defeated Andre the Giant. Just defeated Andre the Giant to retain the WWE Championship.
To be one of those birds right now.
Oh.
That'll get you access. Plywood everywhere. Rusted over. Trash can. Burning. Oh. Steve Austin made an entrance here, boss. Holy shit. So people are shattering glass trying to get in. Look at that.
Again, the haunting view of the inside, again, knowing...
It's beckoning.
It's this sense of, you don't want to come in here.
Right, you look in and it doesn't draw you in like you remember.
It's I get the sense of this building saying, look, you don't want to come in here.
That's a great view. That's a great view. Look at the sun shining down on it. To be clear, shining down on it in a way it never did in its glory day, because the roof is now gone. There's no filter between the sky and the roof. It's just daylight shining down on these seats, and you can still get that sense of scale. You've been to Manias at stadium venues. You know how this feels. But the fact that an entire community remembers doing this and will never remember doing it again is, and they drew from all over for WrestleMania, including from Canada, the entire Midwest. Water drips from one of the balconies in a constant stream down onto the lower bowl. It's right there. I'm looking at it. What's that, boss?
Walking down, thousands of people walking down here. We're walking back up this ramp to the west entrance. Thousands of people are walking down here with their tickets, their families, their children,
their merch.
And
here we are looking at vegetation growing through the cracks in the cement. Everything is rusted. Everything you can see is rusted. And Bossman just said, what are those billboards? And it reminded me that I read that they turned this into a drive-in movie theater for some time. Those are old movie screens, 3 of them.
Wow.
Overlooking the old parking lot. The old
access point.
Yeah, there's a little square postage stamp, although certainly to scale, square carved out in one of the inclined parts of the roof, right where the upper bowl starts. Someone literally cut a hole there, a perfectly square hole. You can see the blue sky through it, but there's no way we're getting up there.
What makes this more haunting is, you got to be here to understand this, is that the parking lot is filled. Okay, the parking lot is filled with these recalled cars. It's like people are here. It gives us extremely
full parking lot.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking completely packed. Minus there's one whole section that's completely abandoned, but it's creepy.
We're now approaching the club level entrance of the building, which is a different look. Oh, boss, so much for the idea there'd be crowds of people saying goodbye today, huh?
No one cares.
Just like we banked on. No one gives a shit. Club level, also boarded up in its entirety, as you can imagine. Look at this. Old pipes. No. We found an opening. Careful glass. Make sure this is sturdy.
Probably not.
Not the sturdy. We're up. We're over. Yeah. We're on the ground. I can feel the tiles. Step down. We're on the ground. The tiles are beneath our feet. There's missing ceiling tiles everywhere. Puddles of water. Walking through a very dark and dank hallway. There's abandoned office chairs sitting here in all states of disrepair. Big time metal overhangs. Here we are.
It's like the press box?
Oh my God. Look at the hallway. This is a luxury box. We're looking out. Get your phone out. This is a luxury box. I can see the floor. I'm in Pontiac. I'm in the fucking Silverdome. And I'm sitting where some mogul would have been sitting. Some VIP guest would have been sitting. And there is shattered glass everywhere. My God. Look at the old scoreboard. Time worn, to say the least. The field is destroyed, but you can still get the sense of scale.
It's a massive building.
It's not really the puddle we expected. I mean, in some spots it is. But it does appear dry on that floor.
It does. I don't know. I mean, there's been talk about it. I'm going to put it on my phone, too. Like, at the same time, we'll try to sync it up.
Mm-hmm. Why even bother? Why bother?
So fine. Sure. Fine.
Occupy yourself with making.
There's. I'm not sure. I mean, the talk was that there was that it was. What do they call it? That the turf was like a lily pad, but this was pretty solid.
There's so much moss growing on kind of the very edge of the luxury box that it looks like a small miniature forest.
It does.
Like an architectural model of
Yep.
of a forest. My God, the old chairs. Look at this. These old cushions. There's moss everywhere.
The fact that there are still chairs here, from the luxury seats or whatever this is. There's even a coat hanger over there.
These hanging pieces of metal, some of them swinging.
Yep. I mean, this is a graveyard. This is a graveyard.
Go down here. There appears to be some kind of hallway along the luxury boxes. Wires and ladders. Even the ladders are all fucked up. How does that happen? I can't tell you. There's glass everywhere you step. I don't know why it was necessary to shatter all this glass, but
I mean,
maybe it was shattered for them.
It might have been shattered before, weather or whatever, but I wonder also if it was people, who come in here after it's been abandoned.
Yeah, I fully expect to come upon somebody who's been living here.
Oh, I know.
At this point. Look at all this. Look at this. These were rooms of
elegance and luxury.
Yeah, of things happening where people actually gave a shit.
Or something.
Who knows what that was? Not much to say about it.
Is there a way to get down?
We're going to find out. Follow me. This is definitely a press area because the sign indicates visiting radio. So these are different press boxes is what we're looking at. Not so much luxury boxes, to be clear. Here are the small boxes that all the different TV stations would plug into to get their live feed. ABC 12, Detroit 2, WDIV TV, WXYZ TV. Silence in this fucking place. Silence. Here's an old program somebody left out. Oh my God, of Tim Bradley Jr. This is that boxing match we talked about on the show.
From 2011.
Take a picture. The super fight, Alexander versus Bradley. January 29th, 2011, official program. Just in 2011, somebody was sitting here covering this.
Yep.
There's tarpaulin all over all these seats. And there's other chairs that are just like littered about. I don't understand how the chairs got down there. They must have been thrown by staff.
By people or whatever.
What they probably did is when they opened the roof, they realized that wind could break these windows, so they purposely shattered the windows and were throwing things that the wind could pick up down to the lower bowl. Yeah, look at this. These are all the old posters from the Timothy Bradley fight. What's this? Is it?
Oh, Limitless. That's funny. Yeah, that's bizarre. They'll take that into the program.
Oh, yeah, the Timothy Bradley program, yeah.
Actually here.
Say it again?
It's very. It's the only thing I can say is that it's surreal to be here. It's like, well, I don't feel like we're actually here. Ticket stubs? Those tickets?
There are tickets here. 2. Oh, they're made out in different people's names.
Wow.
Donna, Michael.
For what?
It doesn't say. Are they dated? March 11th, 2011. This must be the boxing match. This must be a ticket office of some sort. We got movie posters. This is probably from the drive-in movie, all these movie posters.
Right.
There's a box marked throw out with just 2000 football playoff finals, Pontiac Silverdome, Michigan High School Athletic Association. What date? In 2000. God damn. Old files all over the ground. Look at this. With Ted Nugent and Kid Rock. These are December 31st, 1999. Kid Rock and Ted Nugent. These are like Xeroxes of tickets.
I got a binder here.
What year?
Memorial 1999, April 28, 1999. I don't know what it is, what the whole thing is, but...
Lion Season, Sweet Ticket. Sweet Ticket Trade Summary. And they've got all these, like, different firms, I guess, that had claims on the tickets.
Backstreet Boys, Sweet Summary.
These are people that are allowed into the suites for the Backstreet Boys concert.
Tons of just garbage and filth.
Yeah, but there were important operations taking place in here, apparently. More movie posters. A book entitled Morir en el Intento by Jorge Ramos. For that asshole. Just a book. This is where they came to book. Old telephone. Oh, is that a phone? Door video intercom. That's an intercom. Wow. Got an old... lot of old intercom equipment, and this office would face out on a small inclined hill here.
Not really showing much, but...
Wow, look at these old yellow clippings. Look at these.
Wow.
This is all history in here. This is from 82. Silverdome ready for Who farewell concert.
Yeah, it's all about the Who. The Who concert filled teens' dream.
There's a seating chart. Lovely seating chart.
I mean, we're getting close to that I really would like to see.
Well, every time I see a yellowed thing, I look extra close. This is from 75, this memo. Pontiac, Michigan. Interdepartment memorandum. Please advise as to insurance coverage applicable to the subject matter. Safety and insurance.
News clipping from 76.
Wow. Stadium, crowd, boogies with Bob Seger.
5 groups, 1 dispute the fair at the Pontiac.
The show must go on, and it did. The Sunday evening appearance of Rufus Ward, LaBelle, Ohio players, and the Becker brothers had been billed as the show at Pontiac Stadium. A large crowd had been expected for the 76,000-seat domed enclosure, despite threats of stopping the show by the individual group's managers who complained about financial problems with the promoters. The show finished in a fray of semi-satisfied fans. Semi-satisfied. That sounds about right, boss.
Yeah.
Fuck me. We're stomping in exactly the way we want.
Curiana.
What's that?
Employment application for employment.
She wanted to work here. Oh, look at her resume.
Yeah.
Don't read it. Don't read it. Poor person.
Well.
This was the office.
There's a lot of older stuff in there that I really truly expected.
Oh, yeah. It's sitting here just to be looked at. It's something WrestleMania related, of course.
For something that's from 87.
A memo or something, 77. Handwritten notes about seating breakdowns, reserved. The Pontiac Silverdome logo is so dated.
Yeah.
Handwritten notes.
Steadicam operator.
See, it's weird because 1976 memos are mixed in with 2011 memos. Another application for employment. Parking records.
The whole summary is an event quote form.
This probably was the HR office.
76. It's
amazing how keeping these records was someone's job, and now look, It's the last thing anyone gives a shit about.
Except for us. We want one thing.
I want a WrestleMania memento. This is a...
I think the people who were here, who worked here, up until the day it actually closed down, do you think they even knew or celebrated or cared about WrestleMania?
I'm sure they knew that it was part of the lore of this building. I'm sure. I think it's probably impossible to work here and not have heard about it. Here's a flyer. The best way to get around in Pontiac is to park in Phoenix. Hopefully they don't mean Phoenix, Arizona, because that would be ill-advised. Some USB cords. Mm-hmm. More memos in here, and some torn photographs. All the ceiling. Oh, is this a picture of the Pope? Look at this.
Is it a real picture of the Pope?
Look at this. This is a card from the day the Pope was here. September 18th to 19th, 1987. Prayer for the pastoral visit of Pope John Paul II.
I'm gonna take
I think that's, okay. Leave it. All right. Papal Mass, Pontiac Silverdome. Look at this. During the Mass celebrated, see, it was after WrestleMania, September 19th. And then they had to come back and say they did a bigger crowd than Vince, who came up with his number because it couldn't possibly fit that many heads. This is stunning that we're seeing meetings from the Pope thing. And that's fucking huge.
That is huge.
Why are they just sitting out here like this? Pope lecturer leads on rights. Not a dated clip, unfortunately. But it is yellowed. During the Mass celebrated by Pope John Paul II on September 19, 1987, a special camera suspended for the Pontiac Silverdome roof recorded the historic occasion. They're selling you a high-angle photo of that visit for $25 if you fill out the accompanying form here. I mean, if they have stuff from the papacy, the papal visit, I mean, that's the exact same year as WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Checks made out, copies of checks. I can't believe they just leave this here. Guess it all doesn't matter.
Right, that's the thing.
I guess what we think, what we assign value to in our time here on Earth.
It doesn't matter in the long run.
Doesn't appear to be of much value. 1979 memo.
Geez, 1977, this thing.
From the Meadowbrook Theater. Look at this. There it is. I'll take a picture of that. We have a newspaper clipping from the Auburn Hills Argus, September 29th, 1987, and it's the crowd as attended the papal visit. Pope John Paul II visits the Dome. Look at all those people. And the Pope had to do more attendance. I didn't realize it was just 6 months after they were here.
Was that the only wrestling event that ever occurred here?
No, they did some house shows here, like kind of big-time live arena. I think a Hogan-Orndorff match was here, but it wasn't. There were no live televised events besides WrestleMania 3. Elton John came here. There's a clipping from when Elton was here.
Letter from 1980.
Yeah.
Dear Sirs, I won't read the name, but this is Pontiac Silverdome box office. Dear Sirs, I would like some information on Super Bowl 16 in 1982 at the Silverdome. Could you please tell me if you have tickets available, what seats are available, the prices, and who to make the checkout?
Handwritten letter.
Handwritten letter.
On double-ruled paper. Unbelievable.
Just sitting here. Like, what happened here?
Bamboo Productions, 1977. The Papal Visit. This is an entire Oakland Press takeout section on the Papal Visit. They have every page is headlined The Papal Visit. No wonder it was so important to outdo WrestleMania with that attendance number. Nothing WrestleMania, though. Those probably have actual value. Someone probably went off with
I was
those.
not expecting this kind of search through history.
Not at all. I thought all this stuff would have been burned or taken away or otherwise preserved somehow. It's really unbelievable that memos dated 1987 are sitting here.
1976.
Not to mention, I know.
Here, there's a draft coming from here.
The brain extension?
Oh my God, it's the filing room.
This is a room completely chock full of filing cabinets.
Oh, this one's dangerous. I don't think we should go out here.
Okay. Yeah, for the crack in the ground there.
No, there's not a crack in the ground. The ground is gone.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, and crack here. Maybe we, yeah, this one probably. What a shame. I kind of want to go through these, though.
What was that, boss?
Teen Mania. It's supposed to WrestleMania.
In 1999. Silverdome presents Club ICT Soccer 2012.
Wow.
Session 2. They got 12,973 total. Looks like they write the attendance on the boxes of files according to that event. North Ramp. Dates. Dates are all that matter. Dates. Michigan Competing Band Association, 1999. We're a decade ahead where we need to be. I wonder if they moved them to a different room after so many years.
I wonder too.
All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah. Wow.
This is the pay window, as they say. We're looking at a ticket window. Now, why there would be cashing out your pink money slips. There's like instructions for employers taped to the ceiling. No bags, cell phones beyond this point. When going to sell, these items must be locked in a locker. Going to sell what? Offense?
Suplexes? Suplees?
Someone has spray painted on the wall F-U-C-K. That's
Here we
it.
go. It's a ticket booth. Where we just came from.
Okay.
Yeah, someone just wrote fucking spray paint.
My feelings exactly. See? Oh yeah, this looks like a bigwig's office, huh?
Gregory Roberts, Director of Marketing and Events.
His whole desk is tilted and bent, and there's a couch that's been ripped. And Director of Marketing, that's not a bad gig. Guy who's paid to have WrestleMania records around, right?
He's something. Who's gotten close? The program.
Silverdome event parking tickets. Piles of magazines.
Whole section layout here. Whole section layout here.
Oh, yeah, got the overhead seating chart, as they call it.
Program for the big fight.
More programs for the Bradley fight, yep.
Pictures, some real pictures of a soccer thing.
This is the marketing offices. This is where they were hanging on. George Strait, 98. 5 Hour Energy, that's a recent relic there. Yeah, this must be the executive suite. This looks like where all the big...
I think we avoid this one.
What?
The leak.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to avoid anything that...
It gets me already better than I already am.
Right.
Somebody spray painted a swastika on the wall as well, so... Going up a flight of stairs here in the darkness. Try to see if it gives us an access to the floor. My God. Wreckage. This is just desolate. There's a lot of spray painting. There's cock and balls on the wall. There's
hair.
Smiley faces, of course. Someone drew.
Is it my 3 box? Looks like a mattress.
Even more spacious zone here. Yeah, we get the TVs up in the ceiling. Yeah, there are TVs looking down at this area. This must have been the rank and file. This must have been for the press that didn't have, that were kind of run-of-the-mill press that didn't have exclusive boxes. Because they've got those long tables.
I can see even now, like where you see like the owners and stuff of football games where they come sit.
Yeah, we've entered a space where there's echoes. That would seem to bode well. There's a large puddle here. I don't know what to make of that. No, we're still in that press box level, though, aren't we?
Yeah, but there are seats on this level, too. I saw the press box in there.
Heads up, careful.
Okay, so what happened?
Just a little slip. Slippery than you think. Women bathroom, okay, all right. All right, so this is for the public then. Thanks. Ah. What do you see? Oh, is that stairs? Look at this. We have to maneuver around pipes hanging from the ceiling. Boss is rolling tape here so we can... And those are steps. We get to go down now into the lower bowl, below the press box area. And it should be pretty obvious from here how to get down further, right?
Well, no, we'd have to go, from inside we can get down further. Or up.
Here are the seats. Not all the seats are blue, fans. It's important to know that on that middle level, not the lower or top level, the middle level, the seats are tan, beige, which you probably can't appreciate watching WrestleMania because everyone's sitting here. We're in section 20... Well, we're adjacent to 207, 209. We're probably in 210 or 211 on the middle bowl, if you want to call it that.
No, we're like 204. Unless it's 204.
So they would give people those little small televisions who sat here so they could see the field better, I guess. Probably.
I mean, for God's sake.
Well, it's important to remember that this building, its roof, because it was air supported, did not have the strength to hold video screens. They had to build above the ring their own equipment.
That's right.
So, you come here for a football game, it's probably the best they could do for you because they couldn't hang screens. I mean, we're talking your standard bedroom television. Boss is taking a seat 2, row 10. And I invite you, boss, to consider, what it would be like to be here 30 years ago on this day.
The funny thing about sitting here, is that, and this happens, I think, in most. Although I think when we saw when we were at MetLife for 29, it felt pretty big, and I mean, I guess it just doesn't seem as big sometimes, but I know it is. If that makes any sense, but it's pretty exciting. I mean, I can picture fairly easily watching Hogan slam Andre and the excitement that would cause. Like, that's just incredible. Like, the idea, like, you can feel that energy still.
And you should probably also know that throughout our course of being in the premises, the wind is kissing us the whole time, which it would not have been in its heyday with the roof, or in any day with the roof. You can see the torn pieces of roof. See that?
It's funny. It's not like you'd think a roof to cover a stadium like that would be
nylon thin,
or you wouldn't expect it to be that thin. You expect it to be a thick material, but it's like.
It's like a tarp.
Yeah, it's no thicker than a tarp. In fact, it looks like it's thinner than a tarp.
Well, let's see if we find some more stairs. What do you say? For about the 10th time on this trip, we've identified what we believe to be the luxury boxes.
This is for real, though.
Yeah, these are actual luxury.
Stairs going down.
Carpeted, and here's stairs. South entrance. Holler at your boy.
Okay. Now, here's a question. How are we going to get out of here? We'll go up first?
Well, I mean, we know we're down a level from here. So we go down from the 200s.
Yeah, we got to go back to the... Want to go up first? See what it's like in the nosebleed?
Sure. Going up the stairs.
We got jugs.
Yeah, we have big time spray paint. Barry equals goat. Look at that. They remember Barry Sanders even on the spray paint on the wall. He goes by just his first name in this town. Well, we're up pretty high. I mean, this is...
It goes higher.
A lot of puddling here. Let's go around it. South entrance. Wow, wide open feeling. Wide open feeling here. Wide open feeling.
Yeah.
We've been enclosed up to this point. Wow, here it is. We're up high. This is high as you get. This is it. We're exposed to the sunlight. This is the Silverdome.
How high it goes.
Oh my God, the skyless dome. Let's hope there's none of those choppers in the air, because now we're gonna.
From the ceiling, from the roof.
Yep.
It is
What is
stiffer than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like a canvas type material. And you're climbing these stairs all the way to the very top. You're gonna learn a lot about how in shape we aren't.
What is it right now?
19, 20, row 21, row 22, row 23, 25, 26. And we're all the way up at the very top row, seat 33. And we're going to sit down, collect our breath. What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know. This is crazy.
Bigger it's better, it's better.
That's the shot I wanted.
Is it bigger, badder, better? Or is it smaller, sadder, and worse?
I mean, it's bigger.
That's for sure. Because there's no roof on it.
And it's worse.
How much of a trip is it that what a great shot, that we can see the open air and nobody else would be able to, in all the years they came here?
Being so high and so narrow is horrifying to me.
It's at the floor. You ready?
Yeah, let's look at it in a little bit. It's pretty intense. Like being literally
the only
people in this arena.
Yeah,
right
no.
now. Like watching.
Man,
so high up in the sky. I don't know what do you say? Like
if we were
10 stories.
Yeah,
10 stories up in the air.
If we were 30-year-olds in 1987, we'd have been here. We'd have flown out.
Absolutely
this would have been our seat,
Doing
right up to a chain link fence.
Doing the Last Fan radio show, talking about that lost time, the lost Boston region. How times have changed.
The territory, yeah.
How that fucking Vince McMahon ruined everything. We'd have had the Laps Fan on public radio.
Of course. Right after Ira Glass.
Hey, there's one of those. See right there. That was one of those. That must be one of those that held the metal wires. That black thing right there. You see that long snake?
Oh yeah. Every now and then there's a very disconcerting slap of a sound, but it's the wind inevitably blowing some inanimate object.
You wonder, is this building going to topple at any time?
Yeah, when we're here, absolutely. All right, let's go down.
My cold feet fear is that there's a hollow underneath, like at the Coliseum.
And you're gonna fall through, and
we're gonna fall right through into water and die and drown and die.
I highly doubt the floor of the stadium is hollow. Now down the stairs to what we believe to be the route to the ground level of the Pontiac Silverdome. 30 years to the day that Hulk Hogan slammed Andre. Andre passed the torch, called for the slam, and allowed Hulk Hogan to cement himself as the most famous professional wrestler of all time. Fake sports filled this building. There's a puddle. Well, of course it isn't, because we have to do it. Take a step. Not bad. I can manage that.
We got some, vendor with concession stand.
Uh-huh.
You hear the echo going out here.
Yeah. This is it, right?
This is it.
All the way down? We have a clear shot to the field. Whoa, old film reels.
What? Oh my God! What have we got here?
These are old negatives. One of the films? He's pulling the reel. Whoa, what's that? Hold on to that. I'm going to take a picture. It looks like a
cartoon. Oh, it looks like
Muppets.
Hercules?
Down we go. There are film reels everywhere. They dumped all the film reels all over the ground here in the lower bowl. Man, my legs are hurting.
What are these?
Yeah, there's no backs to them. They're just flat. This is the floor. This is where you want it to be 10 years ago. How do you feel?
It's an epic sight. It is a...
We're looking up at what Hogan would have looked up at.
That's what I'm nervous about. See, there's a thing up there. See that? See, look, there's a piece of wood right here. There's water underneath. That's what I'm nervous about.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
We've come pretty far.
There's like a moat around.
Yeah, there's a moat. Of course, there's a moat. Destroyed seats. I mean, completely shattered. We're right on the ground. We have a straight eye view. These would have been obviously the priciest seats. We can do it, boss, because there's plenty here.
Well, you go first this time.
Okay. Oh wow! There's like a set of stairs that's kind of set off from the edge, but they're sturdy. Will allow us to maneuver like so over said puddle. Oh my God! It is floating. It is floating. Yeah, we can't go on there. There's too much water. It comes spilling up over the edges when you take a step. Although I think I can... This is the dirt.
That is the dirt for real?
That is the dirt. Yeah, that is as low as it goes. It's just very disconcerting to...
Is that the dirt? Is that the dirt out there? Or is that... That looks like it's on...
even deeper puddle, potentially. Yeah. Are we going to get this close and not do the moment? We'll say, I think safety.
I think safety comes first. I hate to disappoint everyone, but I'm a little...
By everyone, you mean yourself. But you were very prescient in your prediction.
Only because that's what I read, that the turf is floating on water like a lily pad.
Mm-hmm.
I bet after all the snow, too, from this winter, that it's...
This is the view. Look at this. We're on the ground. Yeah. Right? We're on the floor. For all intents and purposes, we're on the floor.
We're on the floor.
I mean, I stepped on the floor for 10 seconds, so my bucket list is checked off.
I know. I guess I got to do it, too.
It's very clear that center is much...
higher.
Yeah.
It looks higher. So that to me says there might be more water under there. But then how does the water rise like that?
Right.
I mean,
that's clearly the dirt.
That's it. So, I mean, I hate to get your shoes are nicer than mine.
I don't care about that. Trust me, I don't care.
Let's at least walk there. Let's see what happens.
You're going to feel very nervous when you step down because you're going to feel it almost...
Like a waterbed.
Yep, like a waterbed. This isn't so bad. Come far out, this isn't so bad. Okay. It is like a waterbed. We're like floating. But I felt the ground. Feel the ground?
Yeah, I feel the ground.
You can't go any lower than that.
Yeah, but... Oh, that looks a little bit deeper.
Well, it is.
It follows us.
It is. I know the water's following us. It's like, ooh, a new path to... It's like the water's chasing us behind us, literally. It's chasing us as we walk. But we're on the field. We're looking...
Out here in the main gate.
Wow, look at that water. That is just puddles for days. But we're closer to higher ground. We're closer to a point where there's not going to be any water. Look at this. Look, this is nothing. Step over this tarp here. Look at this. This is solid ground.
Wow.
We're in the middle. We're in the dead center. You ready to take the slam?
Yeah, I want to take a picture first.
Don't take your time. We're on the fucking ground of the Silverdome. We're walking precisely where Hogan slammed Andre. And this would be where the ring was, where we are fans. Literally dead smack in the middle of this thing. I'm just hoping a chopper doesn't show up and report us. You can see everything that we just saw from the ground. This is how it would have felt. Boss, what's your feeling?
Slam me, boss.
We've got 2 angles on the slam, and I'm about to lift and dump Boss Man just as Hogan did. Let's hear it. I'm going to put down audio here.
How do I go?
Step forward.
No.
There's no circle.
Slam the boss.
And I look up and I see birds. We're done, right?
Just take one more look. This is the only time we're ever going to be inside this arena.
We're on the floor of the Pontiac Silverdome. We didn't think we could do it.
No. 10 years later, 30 years after WrestleMania 3, here we are.
I gotta say,
The vultures are circling.
Literally, the purpose of this trip in a lot of ways was to see how it feels to go where memories were.
Yeah.
To penetrate that screen. And the lapsed fan, throughout the course of the existence of this podcast, we've tried to do that through context setting, through memory sharing, through research. But now we're interacting with the actual physical nature of a memory.
Yep, that is true.
And I don't know how to feel.
I feel that unfinished business has been finished. And I feel a great sense of closure.
Let's go.
There's something to be said for energy and spirit. Because leaving the Silverdome, I'm filled with what I can only describe as the energy and spirit of what was left behind there by the people who attended events and the people who competed in events there, whether it be football or WrestleMania or the Pope or concerts or whatever it was. There was an energy in that building that I felt, and I am invigorated with that energy right now as we leave, and feeling like if there was ever if there was ever a word to describe it, and this is a little dramatic even for me, but I am at peace with the Silverdome.
This arena, miles and miles and miles away from where I grew up, that in a city that I never once considered visiting in my entire life, if not for professional wrestling. Yet, because of wrestling's unique ability to create lore and an aura around things that on their face are not imbued with those qualities, that little extra intangible that wrestling adds to a fake fight, that intangible carries over into the rest of your life. You become better at assigning intangible qualities to inanimate objects, to moments, to things. Wrestling fans have that going for them, and for religious folks, I'd imagine this is what they mean when they feel they have the guiding hand. There's really no reason that we should have... I'm not somebody that tries to overcome obstacles. I can very easily be talked out of things. yet for some reason I felt like I was a different person doing this. And it was for us. You were along for the ride, but make no mistake, this was for us. And it doesn't make any sense, and that's why, boss, it creates even more of a starvation.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Because if we could define why we wanted to do this, we could probably get that fixed some other way. But the fact that we can't describe it is why we had to fly here and do this.
Yeah, because the tangible reason why we would want to do this is because we want to get into a building, a broken down building where a wrestling event once took place with wrestlers who are either dead or retired.
Or laughing stocks.
Yet there was this sense of like it was like coming to see, almost in a way, an old friend who you know is going to die.
Wow.
And being
Son of a bitch.
and being able to say goodbye to that person and at the same time get to know them for the first time.
It's hello and goodbye all at once.